Hello, I'm Ollie and this is Criminolly, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today I've got a little book haul for you. So as discussed in my weekly wrap-ups, I am trying to control my book acquisition, but it is difficult sometimes, especially as publishers and authors keep on contacting me and offering to send me stuff that sounds fantastic. So yeah, it's an ongoing battle. But what I have found in the last couple of weeks, so since I came off my 100 book challenge and was able to, have been able to buy books again, what I have found is that when I go into town, and this morning I had a dentist appointment, so I went into town early. I went into 2 or 3 charity shops while I was in town, and I came away book free. I didn't buy a single thing. So I really am getting better at limiting my buying to either things that don't take up any space at all, i.e. digital books, or things that I'm really, really sure I want to read and want to read soon. I've managed, I think, for physical books anyway, to get out of that habit of buying things that look good and that I might read one day, rather than just buying things I definitely know I want to read. So anyway, I've got a few things to talk to you about today, which I will do. I'll do the digital ones first, and then do the physical ones. So first up we have one that I got from NetGalley. So this is Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison, which is, I think, a kind of feminist werewolf comedy type book. So think I guess Ginger Snaps the movie, but a book. But looks quite good. Got a nice cover, and seems to be one that's getting good blurbs from people as well. So quite looking forward to that one. I also got, and this was in one of the Kindle daily deals that I'm addicted to. I got Life for Sale by Yukio Mishima. So I've always meant to read Mishima. I've heard great things about him. Well, about his work anyway, maybe not him as a person. But yes, so this will be my first one when I get around to reading it. Not, I don't think, his most famous work, but I'm intrigued to try him and see what he's like. I then got one by an author who I have read before, Darcy Coates. So Darcy Coates is someone who writes, if you don't know her, writes kind of fairly gentle horror. So I've read a couple of things by her. I've read The Whispering Dead and From Below, both of which I really enjoyed. So just fun, not too demanding, not too horrific or scary horror novels with decent characters. So Darcy Coates does really good, interesting characters, and her writing about kind of the relationships between characters tends to be quite good as well. Anyway. Tends to be quite good as well, sorry. So I also got by her The Carrow Haunt, which I think is one of her better known ones. But yeah, that was another 99p Kindle jobby. And then I talked in a video a while ago about, might have been in my last book haul video, about how I have this terrible habit of buying series on Kindle because they're cheap and I like never reading them. So another series that I got a recent book from is the Mitch, what's it called? I think it's called the Mitch Rapp series, and the author is Vince Flynn. So this is a series of kind of like geopolitical spy type novels. The most famous one is American Assassin, which was filmed a few years ago. So I read a couple of these like years and years ago, like 15 years ago. I read a couple of them and quite enjoyed them. Whenever I see them turn up on Kindle for 99p, I tend to buy them. So I think I've got about a dozen of them. I've got most of the series, but not all of it. Anyway, I got what I think is one of the more recent ones, which is Oath of Loyalty. So yes, at some point I will dive into the Mitch Rapp books again. They feel, I guess, a bit like the sort of books I might quite enjoy reading when I'm retired, when I want to live vicariously through the adventures of an American super spy. Moving on then, so one that was sent to me by the author, which sounds really good. So it's at the start of a new series, which I've now completely forgotten the name of, but it's set around Miskatonic University, I think. So the book is Darkness Below, and the author is Barbara Cottrell. So fantastic cover, and I think Barbara's going to send me a physical copy of it as well at some point. But yeah, looking forward to giving this one a try. I did a video recently about kind of indie books and self-published books. I'm really enjoying reading those at the moment. So yeah, looking forward to giving this one a try. And then a couple more Kindle deal ones. So Dark Moon by David Gemmell. So David Gemmell, very famous fantasy writer. I've never read any David Gemmell. I do have a copy of Legend, which I think is his best known book. I think, from what I can tell, Dark Moon is a standalone rather than one of his series. But yeah, it looks quite interesting anyway, and I'm interested in trying fantasy again. Every so often I try fantasy and don't necessarily get on with it, but I used to really enjoy it as a kid, so I will give that one a try at some point. And then also got one that was completely free, so I couldn't resist it, which is The Duke's Daughter by Isabella Thorne, which is a kind of Regency romance type thing. There's a series of them by the looks of it, and it looks like they're all free. So maybe at some point, at the moment anyway, maybe at some point I will read it and pick up the others. So that's the Kindle stuff out the way. In terms of physical stuff then, so firstly, I had very kindly sent to me by a subscriber. So the subscriber name is BillyBob4554. I'm going to have to carefully position my fingers on this slightly rude cover. Can I do it? There we go. So it's The Image of the Beast by Philip Jose Farmer, which is a horror novel, the first in his series called An Exorcism, which looks really good, and according to Billy Bob 4554 is absolutely packed with sex. So I might read this one for Horror Mayhem. I've still got time to fit it in for Horror Mayhem, and it is only 180 odd pages, so it fits the short horror remit of Horror Mayhem. Oh, and I've moved my finger, so apologies. You saw some disturbing werewolf boobs for a fraction of a second there. So yeah, that one looks good. And then also another one sent to me by the author. So this sounds really interesting, and again it's the first in the series. So the series is called The Casebook of Johnson and Boswell. So this is The Fall of the House of Thomas Weir by Andrew Neil MacLeod. So set in Edinburgh in the 1700s. And it looks really fun. I do quite like kind of historical horror type stuff. So yeah, looking forward to diving into this one and maybe continuing it with the rest of the series if I enjoy it. And then another one sent to me by the publisher this time. So this is The Horizon by JH, which is a Korean manga, which I have already read. So if you watch my Manga Monday video next week, so this coming Monday, I talk about this in that. So it's a first in a series about a young boy and a young girl who meet in a kind of war-torn landscape. So yeah, quite disturbing. But yeah, watch that video next Monday to see what I thought of it. And then finally, and most expensively, the few physical books I did buy for myself. Anyone who's watched my manga videos will know that I've been very much enjoying Blood on the Track. So I bought volumes 3, 4 and 5 of Blood on the Track. So I had an Amazon gift card that I got for my birthday, which still had a bit of credit on. So I bought these 3. I'm trying to spread out my manga reading, so I will read these. It will take me 6 weeks to read these because I'm only reading one volume every other week. But anyway, so there's volume 3, volume 4, and volume 5. But I really do think, based on the first two volumes, this really is a quite excellent series. So yeah, looking forward to diving into those over the next few weeks. Right, time for a random book from the shelf. So the other day I pulled out an ex-library book, my copy of The Iron Man by Ted Hughes. I've got another one, and funnily enough, it was actually next to it on the shelf, so I thought I'd pull out this. So this is The Far Side of the World by Patrick O'Brien, one of the Aubrey Maturin books, of which I've read a few. I think I've read 2 or 3 of them and really enjoyed them. I've got a bunch of them on my Kindle and a few physical copies as well. But I do just love ex-library books. And I mean, this book is really battered, it's really stained, but look, it's even got like the old style like library ticket inside. People like me who are old will remember the days when you took a book out of the library, they would take this ticket out and put it in a filing system, so they knew who had borrowed that book. So yeah, this is quite a battered copy, but I think, looking at it, I think it's actually a first edition. So if it were not so battered, it might be worth some money. I suspect, given the state of it, it's worth no money at all. But I rather enjoy owning it anyway. So I hope you found that interesting. Let me know if you've bought any decent new books recently that you think I might be interested in. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Hope you're safe and well out there. Hope you're reading good stuff. And I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio.